This conference will now be recorded.
So welcome to day 14 of our entire EC payroll learning journey. So yesterday we have just started with payroll control center fundamentals, where we have seen the very basic thing of declustering, how a declustering framework works in a typical payroll implementation and how it impacts your entire reporting and analytics aspect. Okay, that we have seen. Now today we'll be covering a different topic altogether. First of all, we have already seen the PCC front end thing. Okay, that is in our part A. How a typical payroll administrator, he goes to the system and he check this alert. Similarly, payroll process manager go to the system and he or she is able to how she is able to run the payroll from a payroll operation point of view. Okay, but what goes on beyond the configuration? So there is a set of configuration which I'll be talking later on, but there are certain background jobs which works in the behind the scene. Okay, so today we'll be focusing on that topic. And these background jobs are nothing but there are certain set of programs. These are predefined, SAP predefined, some standard programs are there, and there are some minor settings are there. But as a payroll consultant, we should know those specific program name and what is the role of each and every program in our entire EC payroll. We'll try to understand that. Anyway, first couple of slides I'll be showing you, then I'll be directly going to the system and show you how this programs work in the backend. So from SAP EG Access, you have specific nodes there. These are, remember, these are not your SPRO node, rather the way we access our normal transaction, day-to-day transactions. So you need to go to, there are set of transactions for payroll control center as well. Okay, so like you have seen, the path is very simple. As I was mentioning earlier, payroll control center, you always access to international payroll, not any country specific payroll in the SPRO node, and same is applicable in SAP EG Access as well. Okay, so if you go to SAP EG Access, if you go to international payroll, then you just scroll it back and you go to the section called payroll control center. There are a couple of transactions there. So today we'll be focusing some of them. Okay, and in future we'll be showing, I will be explaining some of the transaction. The main transaction which I'll be talking about now, that is your admin transaction report. Okay, so this is an important report from an admin point of view, from a payroll control center admin point of view. And the transaction code is very simple: pyc underscore adm underscore transaction. That is your admin transaction report. So what does this transaction do? Now I'll be talking about. So once you execute this transaction actually helps to check what are the different settings I do have in my payroll control center background jobs. Okay, so I'll be anyway explaining you in the system directly. So in the meanwhile, you can see in this diagram there are a couple of green signal here, like maintain username for batch processing, maintain recurrence of daemon job, maintain recurrence for regular wrap up jobs. So what are this daemon job and wrap up jobs? I'll be explaining shortly. So these are just for timing, you understand, these are the different settings we do have once you execute the transaction. And there is a batch user I have given here. So the batch user, it can be the user ID, so of the super administrator, the payroll super administrator who is actually responsible for running the payroll control center. Ideally you will be providing the same user as a batch user name. Okay, so it will be your ECP user ID, which is very similar to your SF success factor user ID. Okay, so that user ID you have to maintain here. Okay, so similarly, there are two authorization objects here. Okay, so that what are those two authorization objects? One is authorization objects you do not have to worry about. It is very similar to the basis which you have seen. There are different set of authorization objects. Unless and until if you are not having these authorizations objects access to your ID, it is not, if it is not been mapped to your ID against your ID, then you will not be able to run certain functionalities of it. Okay, so the first authorization object is all about p underscore pyd underscore AAUT. AAUT means that is an authorization object. It decides whether a user can use this report. Okay, so this is one of the authorization object. Another is a S underscore batch name, BTCHNAM underscore NAM. It helps, like it decides whether a user is allowed to schedule a particular job or not. Okay. So this is a two transaction. Actually, this is the two authorization object for this particular transaction. Okay. So generally the certification question as usual, they will be asking. So you have to anyway remember it. And the PCC background jobs is one of the significant topic in your certification as well. You'll be getting around approximately 2-3 questions, even if it is small topic, but as there are a lot of things which are very important, so they will be asking questions around it. So this one, the path which I was talking about, human resources, that ADM transaction report, okay, which I have already shown in this SAP EG Access. Okay, so this is the way to go to the particular transaction. Otherwise, from the directly from SAP, you can directly run this transaction. You'll be getting into this particular screen. Okay, so I think the screen got freezed. Let me check. The PowerPoint sometimes it behaves such badly.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we have seen the transaction PYC underscore ADM underscore transaction. This admin transaction report helps us to maintain different settings which are used for your batch processing of a typical payroll control center. Okay. So we have seen how these things are done for maintain recurrence of the event handler job, maintain recurrence for diamond job. Okay. Maintain recurrence for what are the difference between all these three different jobs we have seen. And we have also seen how the last three things, like if there is any lock entries, how to maintain those lock entries or delete those lock entries. Okay, so those are the different payroll control center settings which you will be seeing. Okay, and when I talked about the regular wrap-up jobs, so it is there are a set of wrap-up reports, like as I was mentioning, PYC underscore event handler underscore reorganization. So there's a set of predefined, which is SAP defined predefined reports, and they will be taking care. It is a kind of a self-healing job. Okay, so to make the entire resilience of your entire payroll control center, this reports helps in the backend system as a make self-sustained and self-resilient. Okay, so all this regarding all these reports, if you go each and every information, okay, so what does this report does in a very detailed, suppose if you're curious to know, okay, so then you can go to each and every report and you can read it. But generally they do not ask such detailed question, but only thing is you have to understand the purpose of the report. Okay, that is more than enough. Okay, suppose I'm talking about PYC underscore event handler reorg. Okay, there is a report called PYC underscore event underscore handler reorg. There is a I here. So just if you simply click I, you'll be finding this kind of information. So all these details information you'll be finding. And what is the prerequisite for this report? You must have this switch on, this activities and all, the business function. Okay. Only thing is you have to understand this is one, why this report is used, the purpose of this report is more than enough, and how this report will be working, they have explained here. Okay, suppose if you are entering so and so date, so here actually, if in this screen I have not maintained anything. Okay, otherwise if you are maintaining how to maintain this particular wrap up job, and okay, so those things you can maintain it here. And otherwise, so the main purpose of this report is to delete event handler data or event handler log, whatever the log you are having in the two different table, that is a PYC underscore D underscore EHI, another is EHL. What is a log table? Another is your master data changes. Okay, so these two things they will be looking after, and they will be handling this reorganization of your entire this thing. Okay, so those details you can read it by going to each and every. So whenever I was appearing for certification, so I just read it. So they generally ask maximum they will be asking the purpose of each and every report, whatever the wrap up report or wrap up reports are there, this all these five. Okay, so you just simply understand what is the purpose of this, that's more than enough. Okay, so similarly the shadows reorganize. So what does it do? This report deletes finished and inconsistent shadow process ID. So while you are generating the process related to your payroll control center, whenever you're running the transactions, you will be coming across there are certain backend system, there are some shadow process ID has been generated. To maintain the performance of the report, this entire payroll control center, what does SAP do? This program will be running, and this is actually the backend. It will run delete those not required or so-called inconsistent or finished setup process ID, it will delete those and it will just simply maintain the performance of your payroll control center. Okay, so these are all backend reports. So similarly for delete expired sessions, so it is very easy to remember, as the name suggests. This report will be used for deleting any kind of expired user session. So whatever expired user session you have created, if any session is expired in the backend system, then actually it will delete those expired user session from the log itself. Okay, so this is the purpose of deleting this job. And okay, and this one actually I maintained here, like next one is this HR process workbench. Nothing to worry about it. This is again little technical. Okay, so I have never used. So what are the standard it is there? Okay, so directly I just suppose I'll be just generating for the first time. Okay, once it is, I have to see this process ID has been generated or not. That's it. Okay, nothing much you have to do. Other than that, the database access option, as I was mentioning, you have to always maintain join SQL. Okay, that is the one thing. And similarly, the maintain general setting, you can maintain Excel download, how many number of rows you can system will allow. Okay, so that you can put it here. And whether attachment is not allowed, then you have to just simply untick it. Okay, so the next three which I was talking about, regarding the lock entries, it is very similar to SM12, how to maintain those lock and all, so that you can see. So this is what are the transaction I have shown you. These are all they are in the web GUI. Okay, and same transaction if you're trying, suppose this is actually the process which I have shown you. Suppose if you're running the same thing from your SAP GUI. Okay, so then it will be looking like this. Okay, so in the initial time, whenever you have not created anything, it will be shown as a red signal. Okay, for the just to show the difference, I have put this screenshot. Okay, so otherwise, once as soon as you maintain those respective details, this red signal will be turned into green. Okay, so that is the concept of this. Nothing much. So same thing actually I tried in this. Whenever you are generating for the first time in the HR process workbench, it will be process ID will be 1. Okay, so previously I have shown you the 2. Okay, this is actually I have taken it from a different GUI, SAP GUI, that is I have taken, not web GUI. Okay, so this is actually whenever this is lock entry, which I already talked about. Additional background jobs, which is actually in this SAP GUI I have not shown, but actually in the web GUI I have shown it. Those 3 entry, that is your daily team configuration lock entry, maintain policy configuration lock entry, and your process configuration lock entry. Okay, so after that nothing much. So same thing I have explained over and over here. So whatever this 3 I have already explained, which I have PUID underscore delete expired session. What does this do? Okay, so simply remember all this, the purpose of this each and every backend program, because they will be asking this question in your certification at least. Okay, from an implementation point of view, you have just maintain one time, that's more than enough. Okay, and this maintain user list which I was mentioning, if the payroll control center is record is locked in the list of authorization, you have to give the master data access. Then these 3, so here actually I have maintained 3 user ID, so these 3 people will be given access. So previously in the web we have done 1. So whatever user list you are providing here, those people will be able to change your master record even the payroll control record is locked. Okay, so that is the concept here, which was not there in your on premise, so that you can do it here. Okay, so same thing I have explained here, nothing much. Maintain database access, background jobs. This is how a typical background job will be looking like. Okay, so this is a concept of your background jobs, a small topic. Any question on the background job?
No.
Okay. So next we'll be moving to another topic, which is another important topic, that is a PCC process configuration. Okay. So when I say process, as I was explaining, what is a process? That is typically your pre-payroll, that is your, we call it monitoring, your one-click monitoring, 3-click production, or how to post-production payroll process, running program for any future created process. We'll be seeing those into detail, how to configure these processes and all. Okay. So for that, there are certain configuration we need to do. So related to payroll, there is something called there is a transaction called SMICM. Okay, so for that SMICM transaction, you have to ensure this ICM monitor is active. Okay, so this is again from the web GUI you can access. Otherwise, from your if you're having VPN connection from SAP GUI itself, you can access it. You have to ensure these protocols are activated, like your HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP. This is where you have to check from the SMICM transaction. Once it has been checked, this is again one-time activity. Okay, so we call it communication manager. Okay, so like administrative communication manager. What is the meaning of the ICM? Internet communication manager. Okay, so we use this transaction for all of this activating these services. So these are some specific HTTPA or SMTP web services. This activate this service. We have to just check whether it has been active or not. Okay, so this is the first thing we have to do before going for detailed configuration. Okay, and on the top of that, so there are certain configuration. So suppose if you like to have access of your, say, a particular interface. Okay, suppose a payroll manager interface or a payroll your administrative interface which you have accessed in your success factor system. Okay, suppose if you do not have an not, I'm not giving that as example, rather I will say if you would like to have access, instead of logging into the SAP system, you would like to have access from the your SAP GUI directly. So what you can do, okay, so simply if you go to SAP Easy Access, go to favorite and the add other object option, there is something called web address. Okay, so if you go to that particular web address or the file, then you simply whatever the payroll manager interface means the web GUI, whatever you have maintained, same URL if you are maintaining it here. Okay, so there is a small thing here. So the payroll URL anyway it will be very similar to everyone, but there is a small thing like hrpypcc underscore pcc underscore proc underscore 3. This is only the thing which will actually differentiate your different interface. Okay, so this is actually different activities for different role. Okay, for payroll administrator it will be different. For payroll process manager, this is the hrpy underscore pcc underscore proc underscore 3. Okay, this is the for that web address you have to maintain it here. Okay, so this is actually add-on functionality, like if you would like to access the same thing from the ECC. Okay, instead of going to your success factor, once you have maintained it, okay, in the next screen, suppose I directly accessed it from my favorite SAP Easy Access, then automatically system will run that transaction from the ECC. Now you're able to recall, means understand, right, how what I'm trying to explain you. Okay, previously we have seen this transaction from your success factor instance directly. Okay, instead of suppose this, because this payroll control center is independent of your success factor. Okay, so even if people are not having success factor, okay, still they can use this payroll control center functionality. Okay, so it is not mandatory to have a success factor. Still, suppose people they want to run this transaction from the directly from the SAP GUI, how do they do? Okay, so simply they can maintain this URL like hrpy underscore pcc underscore proc underscore 3. Then same thing they can see it from your SAP GUI itself. Okay, so this is the concept here. So same, actually I have repeated the same thing for other activity. The way I explain it for payroll manager interface, for admin interface also it is very similar. You can, there is a separate transaction here for hrpy underscore pcc underscore errm underscore 2. So then your admin can also access, because as I was mentioning, admin will be responsible for accessing your alert specific. So here if you run the transaction for payroll admin interface, then he can see only the alert or the without alert, all those things he can see. So it is very simple, nothing to. So this is how the payroll control center in the back end, in your front end also you can maintain those URL. And same thing I repeated for all other transactions for policy configuration. Okay, so same thing it will be applicable here. So validation rules, like he can see in the front end system. Okay, so this is the way we have to understand. You can also maintain this in the SAP GUI itself, and directly from there you can access the same thing. Okay, so this access actually ideally given to the manager or payroll super admin or the consultant generally. Okay, the same thing you can achieve it via your SAP GUI as well. Okay, Then other than that, now we'll be going little deeper. This is although little technical, but how to create a new KPI. Okay, so this is a, you have to take help from an ABAP. Suppose if you're using a standard KPIs, whatever KPI means, key performance indicator, where exactly you are just configuring whichever I have shown to you earlier. In a typical PCC, you have different set of KPIs like total gross comparison, total net comparison, how many employees actually work in that particular paid or particular are paid in the particular month, or any how many retroactive run you have done. Okay, these are all standard KPI. For standard KPIs, you do not have to worry much. Okay, suppose in case you are creating any custom KPI, then you have to follow these 5 steps. Okay, so these are all little technical. You have to take help from your ABAP as well, always. Okay, so first of all, your ABAP will be creating an ABAP class. Then they will be defining those data source type which are their data source. Data source can be whether it is a employee data, or it is a, you know, their absence data, or it is their, which is their data source. They will be defining those KPI details. Then they will be grouping. So whatever the KPI they have defined in the step number 2, they will be grouping those KPI together. They will be basically classifying what are the data source they have used. Okay, they will be doing that. Then the 4th step, they will be assigning KPI to a specific process, whether this KPI will be available for admin or any other user. That will be, they will be maintaining in the 4th step. And then in the 5th step, they have to just simply automatically variables define and they save the process. So this is the entire simplified configuration steps how to create a new KPI. Same thing I've explained here, but here you have to write a program. Okay, so generally you take help from your ABAP, but as a functional consultant, you have what you have to talk to your ABAP that I have mentioned here. So create an ABAP code for the KPI in the class and method I mentioned. Copy the delivered class. So SAP delivers this class by default. Okay. So you have to suggest your ABAP that you follow.
Is there going to be question on the exam, like on this stuff, like technical?
Technical question they will not be asking. Simply they may ask these steps, the high level steps they will be asking. But technically, I have not seen any question coming from here. But you may be asked because you may never know. SAP, like they may ask this question. Simply you have to remember the delivered class. Okay, like delivered class. This is the offered by SAP directly. The standard program at least you can remember. Okay, employee number or employee amount charge. This is a little tricky, but I have not seen any question coming from here in this area. But they may ask, okay, because every quarter they keep on changing or adding questions in their database. So you may expect question from here as well. Okay. One thing I got a question like the last number, last step. Simplified configuration automatically defines the variable. Which variable actually they have asked one time, which variables are automatically created in the KPI. Okay, so the answer was like PYP underscore PROC and another is PYP underscore PROC underscore INST. That's an instance. This is your normal process. Okay, so they asked this question one time. Okay, so you never know, they may ask or may not ask, but it is better to read it. Okay, and remember it. Okay, so this is how to create a high level step to create a new KPI. And this programming details I'm not going into detail because your ABAP will be helping you and writing this any custom program if you are writing in the future. Okay, the transaction code is SC80 and the standard you have to use the standard class, and then your ABAP will be customizing the logic as per your client requirement if it is really required. Okay, so this is the thing. So this programming detail actually I will not be going into detail. So this is how the typical the programs, the data source type it looks like. Okay, so this
Will
structure yeah, tell me.
will they ask question on those, like this technical program or something, how to write or
So as a functional consultant for certification point of view, I would recommend remember the program name only. Okay, whatever the program name I have mentioned here. Okay, the program name, the class name, you can simply remember. Okay, the data source. This one actually I'll be showing in the system. Okay, this is not a programming. The step 2 which I was talking about. This is another way of checking it, where exactly you can check this payroll process and payroll process. What is important for a functional consultant? That I'll show you. And generally, I have seen questions coming from there. People have told me, like even I faced whenever I did certification. So there is you'll be getting question from here. Okay, but now you never know what SB will be asking in the future certification as well. Okay, so it is always the safer side. To be on safer side, it's better to remember. It's nothing much, not much. Around 5 or 6 programs are there. only those you have to remember, all those things. Okay. Though actually I've summarized even. So if you see the presentation, so whenever you're configuring this KPI, input is typically this. Okay, so this actually direct question. So generally in the typical certification, I just highlight here what is the typical input for a typical KPI. So that is a PYP underscore process and PYP underscore process instance. Delivered by output will be like PYP underscore KPI result. Okay, so this is the which SAP. So these are actually SAP. It will be also PYC underscore KPI, which is delivered by SAP. So all these things you have to whatever I've highlighted, I have seen questions coming from there. Okay, so that is the thing. So regarding this KPI configuration, just simply you have to go through. These are all technical steps we have to follow. Okay. Anyway, some of them I will showing in the system how these things so you can do it. Okay. Because your ABAPer will be responsible for writing that program, but assembling whatever the ABAPer has written those program, how to assemble, how to put it across in your payroll control center, that is your responsibility as a payroll EC payroll consultant. Okay, so that I will show you where exactly it is done. So this is actually from SPRO node. This is something called payroll data source framework, which I'll in the next 5 minutes I'll show you in the system. Okay, for the timing, just to see in the presentation where exactly I will also showing. Once you have done that, then it will be showing in the presentation in your program. It will start appearing. So this is again how to create those ABAP code, all those details I have taken it here. Okay, so nothing much, but you have to remember where exactly it is done. Okay, so this is one. Once you are doing it, so in the front end it will be showing like this, those PCC alert or validation rules. Okay, whatever set of alerts you have created. This one we have seen how these alerts are there in your front end system in the admin section, the first part of it. Okay, so this is regarding another important thing is I've highlighted here. People get question from here. There are two authorization object for this. Okay, when it comes to the process configurations, and here one is PU underscore PYC POL underscore another PU underscore PYC PYP. So it is easy to remember. POL means that is for policies. For any kind of it is used to control access to the policies in the front end, and PYP means it is for process. Okay, so this is the two questions you can expect. Okay, and actually it is started, this configuration setup started in 1611. Okay, that means in 2016. Before that it was not there. The simplified configuration actually mostly uses this framework. Okay, but previous prior to 2016 November it was not there. So since then, since last 4 years, 3+ years we are using it. Okay, so and these are the list of authorization objects. So list of authorization object in the, but you do not have this one, you do not have to remember, because generally they do not ask these questions and all this. Okay, what are the different authorization objects are available. But when it comes to the front end, as I was mentioning, that for process, suppose if you would like to give access to only the process configuration, then you have to this particular step you have to remember. This is the grouping of the SAP UI5 screen. This access, simplified configuration access should be given. Similarly, for policy configuration, you have to give this particular permission, PCC underscore CONF underscore 2. Okay, 1 and 2. 1 is for process, 2 is for policy. Okay, these two front-end UI5 screen access you can give. Suppose if you're not using payroll control center in the SuccessFactors, okay, or you would like to access it from your SAP GUI. Okay, in those cases only you can use it. Otherwise, it's not very much required. Even in my last project, I've not configured it. Okay, because they have access to the SuccessFactors system. So once you're accessing the SuccessFactors system, as I was mentioning, process configuration, right? HRPY underscore, how to identify in the URL whether it is a process or policy. You can simply check in the URL. There is a section called HRPY underscore PCC underscore CONF underscore 1. That means it is process configuration. So as the name suggests, under process configuration you can see all these 5 things. Means simulation payroll, your production payroll, off cycle payroll. Okay, so these are called your processes. Same thing you can see it here. Okay, same goes with the policies as well. So for policy as well, you can see the same similar steps. Okay, so simply I will just take you through the, I have repeated same thing to explain it more. Okay, so other than that, nothing much here. Let me go back, yeah, to the system and I will show you. Tomorrow,
This
whatever.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, tell me.
So there will be only 2 more sessions?
Yeah, so for payroll control center, there will be another 2 sessions, but on the top of that, as I was mentioning, so yesterday I was mentioning total 4 sessions, right? So out of these 3 sessions, means yesterday I completed 1 session, and today actually I also completed 1. Tomorrow another two session will be there, and on the top of that, another session, and that is an unofficial one, like any doubt clear, means any means Q&A you are having, okay, covering all the topic. We'll be taking 1 session for that, okay. So ideally this session actually I kept it mostly, these are the session 45 minutes session or 50 minutes. So for you actually I taken a little extended, for that reason means we expedited the process, okay, so whatever we've studied. But the same thing tomorrow, what we are going to see, tomorrow we'll be seeing again deep dive into, there are certain, tomorrow session actually not very important. So this is actually for any kind of upgradation activity. Suppose if your client has already used the PCC in the previously, suppose they would like to move to SuccessFactors Employee Central Payroll, so how to upgrade those things. So this is not very important. So just how to convert those existing courses and all. So this is some simple program you have to run, so it will not take much time, okay, so nothing much here. Then towards the, then two another important thing which I'll be explaining you, one is your what are the different roles. This is also very simple, like manager and administrator, that is from an ECC or front end system, okay, that I will explain you again. And other than that, another topic which is important I will tell you, that is your next one is your again this is again a launchpad point of view or HR renewal point of view. These topics are actually, if you are implementing EC payroll from scratch, or if you are not used the HR renewal, okay, that is actually ideally applicable for those people. But these are actually, these topics are not very important, okay. You'll not be getting question also from here. Fiori launchpad, if you're using Fiori, how you'll be using all these things. But this is again not very important topic in the PCC. The most important part is actually your the RDS. So what I will do you, as these topics are not very important, I will just explain you the RDS guide, okay, the rapid deployment solution guide, which is the most one in typical project. So ideally these two topic, whatever it is part for tomorrow session, I simply quickly cover it, but you will not be getting any question, or also this is not very important topic, okay. So the front end part again I have recapped here. If you see the screenshots which I have already covered in your payroll administrator side, okay. So anyway, for this slide point of view I kept it. Otherwise some of the topics actually it is not very much relevant, okay. So I will cover that. And the authorization part I will explain in detail, like what are the different authorization we are giving in the, okay, this is again generally in the typical project SAP basis team does it, okay. So what as a functional consultant you have to understand what are the different authorization of profile, authorization objects, okay, what are the different this authorization object, we will be going into detail of it. But from a certification point of view, as I was mentioning today itself, this is again a repetitive for you, like admin transaction report, what are those authorization objects, okay. So those details in detail will be going through it. But from payroll control center point of view, this is more than enough, whatever I've covered today and yesterday. And to on the admin side, whatever I've covered, and whatever the configuration I have shown you today, that is the important one. And the RDS guide, I will prefer to go there and I will explain you there, okay, what are the different configuration we'll be doing. And another part is the PCC tools, okay. When I say PCC tools, means the declustering tools I have already explained to you, okay. On the top of that, there are another two tools like action log and audit tool, which we have seen some of them in the P2P, like your SLG1 and all those things, okay. So some of them I'll be explaining, means what are the topics are there, action log here, how you can check it, okay. So all these details in the presentation slides, actually I've put it everything, but some of them actually are not relevant, okay. So like you may not get question directly from here, but from a completeness point of view, I've kept it everything in the presentation. But some of them are not, you are means at present is not very much relevant, okay. So but due to some reason, like sometimes you never know, suppose the client is using the old system and they would like to upgrade their system. In those cases only it is required, okay. Then only we have to use this, otherwise nothing much. So declustering again I have already explained, and the SAP best practice which I have told you, I'll be explaining the RDS guide. The RDS guide again I'll be taking you through, okay. So next two session I'll be covering this much. Okay. Other than that, in the PCC side, the only configuration actually I have left, that is tomorrow I'll be focusing on that. Then we'll be moving to the RDS guide. Then that is how another two session actually I'll plan it. And on the top of that, as I was mentioning, like anything you have any queries, then I'll be taking a separate session for you. Okay? In the meanwhile, you just read it through whatever we have covered. Okay. So
Show
same
me
thing.
in all-in book,
Let me
all-in-one book.
let me open the all-in-one guide. So if you see the all-in-one guide as well, PCC has not have a is not a different topic there. So it is a part of your P2P implementation guide itself. Let me stop recording and I will show you.
This
Uh,
conference will now be recorded.
if the client is using already the payroll control center configuration, then how to convert those processes. So ideally, these are actually to migrate them, but this is not very frequently I have used it in my project because I mostly most of the projects I have worked actually this is from scratch, means scratch, starting from
Did,
EC payroll. Hmm.
did you cover this one today as well?
No, today I have not covered it. Tomorrow I'll be explaining you. Okay. So this till page number 3115, you go through it. Okay. So whatever I've shown you,
I think
and
you had more screenshots on your presentation.
yeah. So more in my presentation, actually the editable presentation which you are seeing. Okay. So that is having more screenshots, but again that is a repetitive screenshot, not a very new screenshot. Whatever presentation you are seeing here, actually this is actually from a another project which I have taken it. Okay. So those are actually
Okay.
WebGUI based
Whatever
screenshots.
all-in-one book should be good enough for the exam purpose.
Yes. For all-in-one guide, whatever I have given you earlier, right? This is more than enough for a certification exams. Okay. So additional whatever I'll be providing you, that is just for your reference. It is a kind of a repetitive, like from real-time project scenarios and all. So those screenshots are there. Okay. So whatever transition you are seeing, it is actually directly I've taken from older system. Okay. So nothing much difference. Okay. Only thing you are just seeing a blue screen, that will be kind of a gray screen. Nothing much difference. So in a bigger screen, that will more clarity. But here, the same screen. So it is your SB GUI, SAP GUI screen. Nothing much difference. Okay. So that is more than enough. It is this 3,400 material. Even people have told me like they have gone through it. It is more than enough for their certifications. Okay. So next we'll be seeing in the next upcoming 2 days. I'll be covering the remaining topic, but those are not very important. Okay. This is again I was repeating like. If you are doing any kind of conversion program or any kind of upgrading your system from your old the client has already used PCC in the previous instance, okay, then you have to use it in the EC payroll. Okay, that I'll be talking about. And for your benefit, I'll be explaining you that your RDS guide. Tomorrow I'll be trying to focus on the RDS guide. Okay, so then we'll be moving to other topic, the payroll control center roles and tools. Roles and tools I'll be explaining you. But that is again a recap for you, whatever you have seen already. Okay, some of things will be repeating, and some of the things actually it will new. One or two things will be new only. Okay, so meanwhile, just go through it, whatever I have covered you. And another topic which I have told you, right, the point-to-point replication guide, which is there approximately, it is around 900 pages. I always forgot the page number. This is the point-to-point replication guide, which is there. That is 750, is it? Yeah, the page number 750, where exactly you can see the topic number 12. Okay, so they have explained here the in and out of your payroll control center. So in the SAP typical implementation guide, they do not have a different section for payroll control center. Rather, it is a part of your PC's, your point-to-point replication guide itself. Okay, so here you can see the topic. They have actually maintained both front end and back end, everything in the same topic. So it is little confusing, but you do not have to worry about it. And the screenshots also, they have whatever they have taken, it is from the old system. They have not upgraded the documentation. Okay, so for that reason, actually, I tried to update my slides, and at least you'll be getting a flavor of how a typical screenshot looks like in the at present. Whatever screenshot they have taken it, they have not changed it since last 4-5 years. Okay, so this screenshot you'll not be finding these things anymore in the current system. Okay, so whatever you are seeing in the topic, I will tell you, recap it, whatever I've already highlighted. Okay, so that is the topic number 12 in your point-to-point replication guide, how to set up a payroll control center. Okay, so this is your topic. Okay, so this is a long topic starting from 706. This is a technical configuration side, so page number 706. What is payroll control center and the related terminology they have explained. What is the validation rule? What is the policy? So whatever I have highlighted, these are actually directly you will be getting question from here. Most of the things they'll be asking the definition, they'll be asking this example. Okay, directly from here. Okay, similarly, whatever you are seeing in the Employee Central, my processes, my alerts, what are those respective terminology in your HCM, ERP HCM, that is a EC payroll backend system. We have seen like team alert management, process management, how these things are called. You just read it through page number 706 onwards. This topic number 12, read everything, each and line, each and every word of it. Okay, how to manage policies, how to manage the processes. Okay, so what is my processes, what is the definition of my processes. So this is again admin side of it. And so after certain page they will be now explaining you like what is managed teams. So actually what is my team. So here you will be seeing the latest stream like it looks like Fiori pages. Okay, so previously teams was not there, team configuration was not there. Okay, same thing goes well with your configuring payroll control center in the EC payroll. So topic number 12.3, which I actually the backend configuration. Topic number 12.1 to 12.2, admin side. 12.3 onwards, you'll be seeing whatever the configuration they do in the EC payroll side. Okay, so all this software component you are seeing. Okay, what are the minimum requirement? What are the business functions to be activated? Okay, that things they are covered here. So all these things are there. Similarly, if you see some of the topic like here, configuring some of the topics, what are the role-based configuration you have to. This is also we have seen here earlier. Okay, from PCC side. So this I will recommend to read it thoroughly. Okay, how to set up this thing. Okay, so what monitoring process, how to check this monitoring process, productive payroll process. Okay, so they have explained it in a very lengthy manner, but honestly I have never read each and everything, but whatever highlighted one, those are the topics actually I focused in the typical implementation or in certification. Okay, but at least read it once, I will recommend. Once you read it once, then you will be familiarized. Once I share the screenshot and all, you will be able to relate it. Okay, so this is the topic. The topic number 12 is little lengthy compared to other topics in the point-to-point replication. Okay, so simply you just go through it once. That is more than enough. Okay, once you understood the topic. Okay, as it is an official product documentation guide, so you will be finding it little lengthier. Otherwise, for understanding point of view, nothing much. Okay, so this you just go through it and let me know if you have any questions on this. Okay.
So
Then
only like a section 12 you want me to read it, or
sorry.
for this point-to-point guide, do you just want me to read only section 12, right? Starting from page.
So no, point-to-point replication guide, when I'm saying it actually covers your part B and part C both. Okay. For part C, I am telling you have to read it at topic 12, but remaining topics are also very important because this implementation guide is one of the crucial.
C is section 12, right? Is that right? Or?
Yes, it is correct. So part C is your payroll control center is your chapter number 12. But for the remaining chapter number 1 to 11 or whatever remaining topics are there, that is your point-to-point replication configuration and all. Okay. So just this is just for your understanding, because certification you never know. They will simply pick a sentence from here and they will put the certification exams. Okay, that's how.
Section ends at page 805, or is it continue?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Like so you're at page 805. Is that the last page, or there's some other pages?
Still it is there. So there are certain things. Actually, they have mixed actually. So they have mixed your admin configuration as well as your backend, the consultant configuration, whatever they are doing. But they have mixed it in a single chapter. Okay. So for that reason, you just keep on. Just let me go to the around 850. Let's see. Yeah, 850 is around. This is a different topic. The topic number 13. The topic number 13 is actually, it is for once your system is live. What are the typical scenario you'll be getting? Actually, you'll be finding here, like how to change the hire date in Employee Central. Suppose if your system is already live and you have already run the payroll. Okay.
Are those questions will be on the exam as well?
No,
On
no,
the
no, no.
section?
I have not seen any question coming from here. Okay, but I can't guarantee also. Like you will not be getting any question because this is the official guide released by SAP. Okay, so at least read it once. Okay, like simply how to read it. Like go through the topic header and just to understand what are the prerequisites. You may not have to go to the procedure. This procedure steps is like very lengthy. You have to go to that step, this step. They will never ask a question like this. They'll be asking mostly the high level, like what are the prerequisite, what is the purpose of this particular configuration or particular change, whatever you're doing. Okay, generally they ask this kind of question. Okay, so this topic number 13 is actually the troubleshooting topic. Once your payroll, you have already live system, and if you're having such kind of scenario, what you will be doing. Okay, so those kind of topics are they have explained in the topic number 13. Okay, so if I go further in the page number 860 around approximately, this is again Employee Central, whatever you have already covered, that is your technical configuration, like our IDP, SML 2.0. Okay, all these things are there. Okay, so the identity federation, your user identification, these are all technical configuration. Okay, which you have already seen in our P2P. Okay, actually one thing is actually they mixed up everything, so for that reason people often get confused. Okay, so for that, from that point of view, I will recommend that go through, once you are going through this, read it through once and you follow the presentation as well, which I'll be again updating to you in all-in-one guide. Okay, so that presentation you can follow also at the same time. Okay, that is just to recap. Once you read it through this document, okay, for doing any kind of recap.
So this is a success factor or ACP's official documentation, right?
Yes,
The
this
one
is an official. This is the one which I'm showing you.
created by you, right? Somewhere like you had experience. Like
Yes, yes.
yeah.
The presentation which I prepared, that is actually covering the flow is like in a typical project scenario, how if you're working in a typical implementation project, how the flow will be like. That actually I made it a presentation in the towards the end. But this is the guide actually they have written it from product point of view. So from a product point of view, how different sections are there, and whatever information they do have, they have actually put it in the same topic and all. They have not segregated it whether it is an admin side or it is what is meant for a consultant, what is meant for an administrator. They actually clubbed it everything in a single topic. So for that reason, some people find it little tricky. Okay, otherwise you have to go through this individually, and nothing difficult. Okay, so once you are in the future, once you do one implementation, it is more than enough. Then you can come back to your implementation guide. Yes, I did it. In some of the things also you'll be finding like in my some of the projects also, I have not used all the functionality. Even EC payroll provides, but client may not require it. Like a scenario here is global assignment. My client doesn't have a scenario of global assignment, so why do I use it? Okay, if so, whatever there it is for just for information. Okay, you may not. It is not like you have to use everything whatever there in the implementation guide. Depending upon your project scenario, depending upon the scope of your project. Okay, whatever is relevant, that you will be using it. And also there are so many baddies are there. Okay,
About the documentation that's released by success factor, like that's important for the certification exam. Like what
this is
are
the only
those documents?
this is the only document actually, the all-in-one guide whatever I maintained. Okay, so the presentation, if you are excluding the presentation, what are the
What about
topics?
those, like you were talking about the HRH 65, then there was other one.
Hmm.
In, so those
Okay,
documentation were not released by success factor, or were they created by you or something?
no, HRS 65, HRS 60, those are actually the code given by SAP. And at the is actually, if I go back to my presentation again, I will tell you. So in those documentation, what they have mentioned, if I go
Mm.
back to the certification once again, the certification path which I have explained in the day 1 or day 2, the thing is, if you go to this official guide of this, the official certificate, this is actually official certification on the syllabus, okay, which I was telling you. Okay, so in this, they have simply mentioned the link here, HRH60. Under PTP, they have mentioned HR60, which is actually the HR60 guide which I have maintained there. Okay, so they are mentioning simply they are just mentioning recall the steps whatever you have understood in this topic. But again, just simply they have put the hyperlink here, which is nothing but your SAP implementation guide which I have made in, which is part of your all-in-one guide. Okay, so simply they have mentioned HRS60, that is the only guide. Okay, and similarly for other, like for Chronos, Workforce, okay, provisioning settings, they have just put the hyperlink. What I have done, I simply went to those hyperlink and I have added those documents in your all-in-one guide. Okay, nothing else I have done it. Okay, simply I have to make it simpler. HRS65, I went to that particular link. Whatever the document SAP has recommended, simply I made into the all-in-one guide. Okay, nothing. So from that point of view, you are safe on a safer side. Whatever the SAP has mentioned in this official certification guide, okay, whatever the URL they have given, I have gone through those URL, each and every detail of it, and simply I have added into the all-in-one guide. And on the top of that, I have already added some more thing on that, which is actually for a better understanding. Okay, so for that reason, if you go to the date through guide, this is also I have shared with you, I believe. So I have highlighted one, which is actually from a certification point of view, which page to which page actually you have to refer. Okay, for ECP admin training guide, you have to refer the page number 73 to 180. Similarly, for HRH60, you have to refer page number 455 to 900, which is around approximately 400 pages or 450 pages. That is for HRH60. That is your part B, and plus your EC time off and EC time sheet. That is a 901 to 1038. Okay, so all these are actually relevant for your certification. And on the top of that, from a project implementation point of view, I have put additional topic like here, like edit and job aid, your scope description. So this is again, you will not be getting question from here directly. Okay, only whatever I have highlighted here, those are must for reading, must read for your certification. Similarly, your Workforce, Chronos, Central.
But
This
once you're
sorry.
gonna update the all-in-one work, then your page number going to be different, I guess, right? You will have to update that.
So what I will be changing, so in whatever I'll be changing, so okay,
So
so
make sure,
till
like,
page number, the page number 2428, if you refer this slide, it will remain as it is. Okay, but whatever the deck, I have used in this entire training, the page, serial number 27, ask me anything ECP live sessions deck, okay, that is approximately 1000 pages. So page number 2429. So for that reason, I have not put any end page of it. Okay, because that every time I keep on adding and that keeps on increasing. Okay, so for that reason, so this live deck, whatever the presentation I have used in this entire training, okay, so that I'll be updating here, and that will be even this slide, this two slide again, if there is any page deviation, I'll be updating after, let's say, another 3-4 days maximum. Okay, I'll just keep updating, and I'll be sharing with you. Okay, so next 2 days actually you will try to cover everything. The payroll controls and small topics are there. Those are actually not whatever the maximum today till now, whatever we've covered, 95% question will be asking from there. And the small topics are there, like PC tools or PC authorization, that I'll explain in next 2 days. And once it is done, then it may be after 1 week or 5 days, or depending upon your flexibility. And you just put down your note down your questions, whatever questions you do have, and send it before 1 day before, and I will go through it, and we'll be having a session on that. That will be your last and final session. And on the top of that, even if you are, once you are getting into a job or you're getting into projects, if any questions, and after that also you can reach out to me. It's nothing like that your training is over and you can't reach out. You always have my number as well, so you can or email me in those things, and I'll be happy to help you. So that is
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So that's all for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, bye.
Okay.
Good night.